Howdy, folks. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you, in somewhat of a Bjorn's Mighty Thoughts format, I have a Gunner Heat PC video. And the reason I'm doing it in this kind of format is I'm actually doing a recap of the very recent developer stream that was actually just done yesterday. That was Sunday, August 30th, is when the stream was. And the lead developer, Action Scripter, was doing a live stream where he had talked about various things that is going to be coming to Gunner Heat PC. Let's do some shameless plugs really quick. First off, if you like the video and want to see more Gunner Heat PC content from me, I'm going to be doing various different things, including showing off the previews of the current demo as well as the future demo that they are currently working on. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Can't ask that enough. That's going to kind of help me get going and kind of help me realize what kind of content I should be doing, or that at least you enjoy the content I am doing for the different various video games I am do content for. Next, going to do also a link to the Gunner Heat PC Twitch as well as the Gunner Heat PC YouTube. So that way you can actually go back and actually watch the developer stream yourself. I'm only doing a quick abbreviated recap. It's going to be very abbreviated and probably pretty shortened. I'm also going to put in the link for their website. Guys, go check this out. This game shows a lot of promise. I really like the direction that the game is going and the direction that they are going, the level of detail that they're focused on. They're not per se worried about balanced or just, I don't quite know how to fully explain it, but they're going for more towards a realism with an arcade style control layout. So basically like playing World of Tanks, but you're getting a real true tank experience, folks. This is the kind of thing we don't really have, and they're going to fulfill it, or they're going to die trying, I guess. But they are doing a great job from what I've seen so far. Also, there's going to be a link to my Discord. Come in, check out my Discord. You can catch different Gunner Heat PC news updates, etc. on my Discord, as well as through their website. You can get their Discord as well as the information for their Patreon. Guys, go out there, give them support. It doesn't take much. $3 gets you the access to the Patreon demo. $3 a month, folks. You can donate as little as $1 a month. Help these guys out. They could really use it. They're trying to go far with this demo. They're trying to do something that's not out there. And as I said, it shows a lot of promise. Anyway, that's enough rambling and shameless plugging. Let's really dive into this here, folks. So, as I said, they did a Gunner Heat PC developer stream yesterday. I'm going to abbreviatedly go over some of the stuff they had shown in the demo, as well as I'm not sure if it's quite in order, and I know actually at least one thing here is not in order because it's something I'm very excited about, so I'm saving it towards the end of the video, folks. But let's show this off here. First off, the first thing they did show was a functional model of the Bradley, or a semi-functional model of the Bradley. It's still work in progress. And understand, folks, a lot of this stuff is still work in progress, but this is all stuff that they're trying to put together to get in for the vertical slice. What that is it is a demo giving you an idea of what they are trying to achieve with the game. Basically, here's a little slice of what the full game is going to be. And the Bradley's actually a part of that. Now, there's the only thing that's really functional currently on the Bradley in what they showed was the autocannon. It could also drive, but there was still a lot of other stuff there that needs to be done yet. It's still a work in progress. But they did show the Bradley. Next thing he had talked about was how camo is going to work. For now, they're going to develop various different historical camos that they're going to put in the game that you'll be able to put on your tanks yourself They also talked about maybe in the future they're going to work on modding tools, but for now, when it comes to camouflage, this is what they're going to focus on, is making historical camos, put them in the game, and letting us play with those. This is a far down the road project they are working on, but I do have to give kudos to them. This is a very sexy camo pattern, and yes, this is a historically accurate camo pattern for the M60, as well as I believe you can find some early Abrams model tanks with this camo pattern. Next, he showed off some of the interior model of the M60. This is the interior model. This is where you see the ammunition, the different view finders, things of that nature. You got the gun breech here, ammunition, which you can see this thing is going to be like a firecracker if it ever gets hit, because it's literally got ammoed everywhere. Now, I can't tell you like 100% I have physically seen this is what it looks like on the inside of an M60, mostly because I was in an M60A3. However, the fact is most of the interior was ripped out of that M60. But what I could tell you is 100% perfectly accurate is actually the Sabo ammunition actually facing outward that you can see the tips of. That is actually the bustle ammo. The other sets of ammo is the two sets that are sitting horizontal. And now those sets actually sit in between the driver or very close to the driver. It's like not perfectly alongside the driver. But I've also seen some interior photographs, etc., of the M60, and I can tell you, yes, this is actually a very accurate representation. Now, there's still stuff missing because there's actually guards on the inside of the M60 as well that's not here. I don't see the tank commander seat in here, as well as the loader seat and the gunner seat. However, if you look close, you can, on the right side of the gun breech there, you can actually see the gunnery optics. And he does a very good zoom in of the gunnery optics and the gunnery controls. So go check out the video and catch more. Next thing they talked about is how they're in the process still, but they're getting a very good grasp of how the sights for the M60A3 as well as the early model M1 Abrams works. This is just a photograph of the current sight, but he's showing the nature of how it works and how it snaps onto target and things of that nature for when it makes its adjustments for range and the gunnery adjustments. Next thing he showed. Now, currently, we have this in the game. This is the T55A with the laser rangefinder. This is your typical later model Soviet T55. However, they did talk about variants of the T55 as well as variants of other tanks, such as Czechoslovakia has their own version of the T55 that they had produced, and that there is minor differences between those, such as this one here does not have the laser rangefinder, even though both tanks would have been in service around the same period. So it was nice to see the other variants of the T55, and he talked about how some other variants like the T72 will be in the game based on the country. Now this is the Jeep, ignore the Jeep. This is actually currently what the range looks like in game. This is the target tank range, how it looks currently on the Patreon copy of the demo. He did discuss a bit and showed a couple photographs and stuff of how the range, they're working on the range. They're working on the color palette. They're working how the different stuff reses in. They're working on the optimization, as well as they're also working on setting up day or night. Right now, you can only do daytime. Folks, I'm excited. I want to see thermal optics, baby. I want to see how they work, and they look like they're good from the footage he had showed, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Here's another thing they are working on. This is a work in progress thing that they are kind of messing with. This is actually a mapping that they've been working on of a location in Germany. Goes in much more detail in the video. I'm kind of just going to pass over this one, but I believe he said it's a 16 by 16 kilometer area. I might be mistaken by those measurements. I forgot to make notation of how big he said the area was. But it looks amazing for what they have so far. Once again, understand it's really early work in progress, but they are doing some very good work. Next thing he did show, and actually you do see this multiple times throughout the stream. This is a BTR 60 BP. I thought at first it was a BTR 70, and actually made the mistake of sending him a message going, "Hey, can I get a photograph of that BTR 70?" Well, that's because when you look at BTRs and you're trying to figure out what model BTR it is, you look at the exhaust. However, due to the angling of this photo, I can tell you I thought that it was a BTR 70. Once he sent me this photo, which I don't recall him showing, but I could be mistaken, I could tell that this was a BTR 60. I got a better view of the exhaust. But it is still a very good work in progress model. Absolutely love the detail of the tires. The tires look actually real, minus the fact that the coloration is wrong. You know, obviously tires are not tan. Well, I guess you could make tan tires. You could spray paint them, right? But I love the level of detail that Harry, he's the guy that does a lot of the art, digital art for the game. I love the level of detail that he is putting in these models. Kudos to him. Very good work. Next thing he talked about for a little bit was missions, or at least the idea of adding missions later. This is going to be something more towards when they're actually working on the complete game, and that they're going to have various different missions based on what role you're playing. So if you're playing a Bradley, it might be take your Bradley, go to this location, drop off your infantry. Go reconnaissance this location. If you're playing a main battle tank, go spearhead this location. Go attack this armored convoy. Survive this battle for 10 minutes. Anything like that. They were just examples. Those were not the examples he used, but they did talk a little bit about that, and it's very sensible kind of stuff. Understand that this is kind of like single player campaign type missions that they're talking about doing here. And that's the primary focus of this game, is doing a single player co-op game. Or I guess actually an online co-op game. I kind of botched that, didn't I? Yeah, I typically botch things. Sorry, folks, I'm old and shit. Next, they talk about improvements and adding impact models into the game. Currently, right now with the Patreon copy, this is the only impact model you have to deal with. This is the T-55. And it's actually got the crew, it's got the ammunition, the gun breech, the engine, fuel tanks, blah, blah, blah. He talked about how they're going to add that to more and more vehicles, and that they are currently in process of doing that. I believe he said the T-72 right now, they have an impact model for that. And I believe he also said the M60A3 currently has an impact model, as well as some of the other vehicles they're going to add impact models to. And they're going to add impact models to the vehicles that they are putting in for the vertical slice. So we're getting more and more impact models, folks. Like I said, currently we have one. Soon we'll hopefully have everything that's going to be in the vertical slice demo and get an idea of how the interiors of these tanks are going to look like. Anyway, very good work, very well detailed. As you can see, they got the ammo racks in the right locations, and actually the front ammo rack right there by the driver is actually a wet stowage rack, and it will actually act as a wet stowage rack. So basically there's a low chance of it actually catching fire and cooking off. However, there's still a chance of that happening. So once again, kudos to them for that level of coding, level of detail, actually caring to do that level of detail. Next, thermal imaging. He talked a little bit about thermal imaging. Now, this is actually just a photograph from the current free demo, folks. So it is kind of bleh. But the thing to point out is he does show a video of the current thermal imaging that they're doing for the game. It looks very amazing because they actually got it break down by the sections of the tank. And they even show how different sections of the tank reflects heat in different ways. Obviously, they even have it down to the detail of, as you're sitting there with the engine off, the engine cools. As the engine runs, the engine heats up, so the engine deck warms up and gives off heat. You just have to go over and actually see the footage for yourself. I'm not going to show it here. Kind of like one of those things, go see it. You got to go see it. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Next, my favorite part, and this is the part I just instantly perk my ear for and start drooling like started going giddy like a little schoolgirl. This is the M1P. This is one of the earlier Abrams tanks, and this is also they are currently in the process of adding this to the vertical slice demo. And I have to say this digital image of the M1P looks absolutely amazing. It doesn't quite look like this in the demo yet, folks, but they're working towards this. This has me excited. I am an M1A1 tank crewman. I am an M1 Abrams nerd. So I geeked out when I saw this tank. And this isn't the first time I saw the photographs either. You know, spoiler alert, I have them in my Discord. And these look, I was just so excited when he announced that they're working on getting this in for the vertical slice demo. That obviously it is an important tank during the Cold War period that they are shooting for. And here is a rear view of the tank. And yes, folks, this is actually a very realistic depiction of how the Abrams would be crewed up. As you can see, they have boxes of rations there, as well as the Allison packs tied to the framework there of the turret, the stowage. And that's how we would do it in the service. Plus, you have a spare fuel can. You probably can't see it, but there might be some spare parts there. They have some tarps on the top. This is how we would do it, folks. This is how we did it when we're in the tanks for a long period of time. That like we were going to be out in the tanks for like 2 weeks. That's how we'd haul our gear around, folks. Anyway, next patch. This is the part I'm not really can't give much information off because right now the next patch is to be determined, to be announced, because they're not 100% sure. They're not throwing a date out there. They're going to have a better idea probably within a month of when they're actually going to be able to release this next major patch, this vertical slice patch. And with this next major patch, they're also going to be updating the current free demo as well. So this is not just for the Patreon users. This is also for the free users. But they're not going to announce a date and then have to rush everything. They want to get it done right. They want to put it out right. They want that level of detail. They're asking actual veterans who served on these various vehicles in the game information about these vehicles. They're looking for source documentation for these vehicles and trying to implement that stuff the best they can. And so far as I've seen, they're doing an excellent job. So that being said, when it comes to the next patch, let's not rush the poor guys. Let them do their art and get it right, because they are doing an amazing job doing that. But anyway, folks, that is a, I guess, news update, you could say, for Gunner Heat PC. It's just a recap of the developer stream. Once again, folks, the developer stream is about an hour and 37 minutes. You can catch it on their Twitch. You can catch it on their YouTube. Go watch it. Get more details. Join the Discord. Ask questions if you're interested, etc. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching the video. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. All that BS that a lot of different YouTubers ask people to do. And also, give them a follow, guys. Show them you're interested. Show them some support if you think they deserve it. I think they deserve it. They're doing great work. Anyway, folks, once again, thank you very much, and have yourself a great and wonderful week.